Welcome to another Prevent Connect podcast, where we explore innovative work, new research, and inspiring stories related to the prevention of sexual and domestic violence. I'm Tori Vandelin, and on this podcast, we're continuing our conversation with Cassie and Jessica on the community mobilizing strategies they're using with Close to Home. They provide their advice for other prevention practitioners looking to engage in similar work. Now that we know a little bit more about what Close to Home looks like in each of your communities, I'm wondering if you all, beyond what you've already shared, can share with us some other successes you've seen thanks to Close to Home.
Yeah, so I think what's really great about this process is that you're making such an investment in this community that community members and participants are starting to realize, like, oh, this person is invested, this person cares about my community. And yes, that's something that takes time, but something that's really positive that comes out of that is that you have participants and you have community members who are so invested within themselves. And so they're really trying to make change and create change within themselves and their communities, that they're taking that off to college where they're going to, or they're making sure that that's in their mind when they're thinking about community. So for us, it's like I planted a little seed in someone that's never going to forget that because we have done so much work and invested so much time.
Yeah, I think really highlighting the youth voice and the youth leadership that came out of this has been an amazing inspiration to me. You know, they become so confident in what they're passionate about, and seeing them go out into the community and start engaging with people who might not really talk about these topics on a daily basis, and really coming in with that with confidence and action and wanting to do something has been super inspiring. And I feel like the community really picks up on that. They're like, wow, like, you guys are 15, 16, 17, and you guys are doing all of these amazing things. Like, how can we support you? How can we help you? Like, this is amazing, you know? And I even think about that. When I was in high school, I wasn't passionate about anything really, and seeing them be so passionate about, you know, wanting to end teen dating violence, or wanting to create a community that's living in peace and harmony, and really spreading that message to our community from like a youth lens has been super inspiring, I think, on the community then to get involved and continue that movement and continue that message of, you know, peace and ending violence. And
Cassie and I often talk about, like, what a reciprocal relationship it is, right? Like, we have equally learned so much from the community and from the youth that it's been changing in our lives too.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's incredible. Jessica, I love when you mentioned the planting a seed, and that made me think again about your Leaves, your Leaves project, and Cassie, you had mentioned it too. You have these teenagers and adolescents and youth that are, 15 to 17 years old, making real change in their community, and then maybe they stay in their community, maybe they go to other communities and continue that cycle of change. So yeah. I think it's really incredible how Close to Home isn't just a static impact, but has this impact within a community and outside one too.
Yeah, and I've had students who have graduated from high school who have stayed in the community, or they might go off to college but come back for the summer and they want to stay involved. So they've kind of shifted from the youth leaders to now adult leaders in the community. Or how can they get involved when they come back during the summer, because they still want to know about the project and want to be involved in that community part. So it's awesome to see the shift from the youth leaders to now the adult leaders in the community.
That's amazing. Thank you both so much for sharing those pieces with us. And so now we're wondering if there have been any lessons learned along the way, or any advice or wisdom you think that folks either within California or outside of California across the country working in community mobilization or trying to bring Close to Home to their communities, what they can learn from the process that you all have been through.
I think one of the most lessons learned or words of wisdom I could give is to be patient. You know, community mobilizing, organizing, change doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, and be okay with that. Know, you might have a timeline, like I'd like to get this done by summer or by fall, and being okay with sitting in that mess, and maybe it doesn't happen by fall, and that's okay. Or maybe something that you had planned happened earlier, great, but be patient with everything. with the phases, with diving deeper into those conversations, whatever it might be. Really just having patience is a huge one.
I absolutely agree. I mean, that was the first thing to come to mind for me. One, having patience. Like, if you're someone who's just starting this and you want to really start this in your community, it's about taking yourself out of your comfort zone, not just for you as an individual, but your agency. So this can be really new to agencies, and they might not understand it, but we often talking about trusting the process. And making sure you make a true commitment to your community. So you have to be invested, not only as a program, but as an agency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think piggybacking off of that, the commitment thing, really listening to your community, right? Like, you might have a passion in mind and want the community to follow your passion, but that might not be the reality of the community, right? The community might have a different focus, and really looking at those roots of oppression and how they all overlap, and really letting that community and their voices be heard, and really help facilitating the bridges of those gaps and how they all relate. And if you end oneism, the ripple effect that can happen. And it's okay if their passion isn't our passion, because it all kind of molds and fits in together.
That is such great advice, not just for folks looking for close to home and community mobilizing, but for folks doing any sort of prevention to be invested in their communities, be patient, trust the process, and see those connections between our work to end sexual and domestic violence and other community organizing and social justice and dismantling oppression work. So thank you both so much for joining us on this podcast. Before we close, I want to give you both an opportunity to share or add anything more that you think our listeners need to hear.
I think just good luck. I mean, for us, it's so exciting to talk about. We have a lot of passion behind it, and I think it's like amazing for you to start this journey because you will see a tremendous payoff.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think this model is amazing. It's simple and complex at the same time, and it allows you to be creative, be unique, and I think that's a really great benefit of this model.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.